Oh god damn it. Kevin, I can't wait for this movie. What's 7-2? They just burst open your door that day and just make you watch it? I know they keep the Matrix going, but they let people leave if they want. That was the agreement at the end of the last Matrix, 30 years ago, whatever, when it came out.
I feel like that would legit work fine for the robots, because if I found out this was the Matrix and I could go live in shit town in the middle of the earth, no, absolutely not. No. I'm gonna stay in the Matrix.
No one's leaving. Yeah, it's like it sucks here, but also it's like I have power and internet. I don't want to leave.
Yeah, can I get a PS5 like as my trade-off? No, I'm not like the guy with the steak.
Yeah. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Cards Podcast, the show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by Gavin Jones. Gavin, how are you doing?
I'm good. We're trying to stay out of the smoke.
Every time we meet, it's smoke, it's fire, it's brimstone. But yeah,
I think we're just hot boxing it up.
Yeah, I wish. Nothing cool. We're just having inhaled second degree or secondhand smoke from. Oh, you know what? My barber recently told me, not his own conspiracy theory, but another dude was claiming that the firefighters are starting the fire on purpose so they can get paid, like so they have a secure job. And he had some good points. Just saying, look into it. Yeah, no, it was terrible, but
how
okay. Right. Yeah, I was just like, what? Why? And then who would be supporting? And no one says anything. It's just
is he aware that they also have work even if the fires aren't going on? Because if they're not, then they're also working on clear cutting and trying to preventative stuff. But yeah. Apparently they don't work if they're not fighting a fire.
That's just how it's all for this day and age. Like now we've transcended to the point where it's no longer something is what it is. It's always like a conspiracy, but
that guy might be crazy. He might be. I think there's a high likely.
Yeah. Or I always think of the dude at the coffee shop who comes in and told me that the fish in the ocean, they're all robots and they were replaced by robots by the government.
No, that's birds. That's clearly
You're right.
birds.
He never switched it to birds, but his thing was always all the fish were robots, and the government did that for some reason, and they made them robots so you can't tell that they're gone anymore. So that's why the fish don't get electrocuted in the water.
Hey, host, thank you for the follow.
Host and not following. Sounds like a bot, but I appreciate it. Oh, a person, by the way, it's Aiden forgot my login stuff for my last ACC. I see. Oh. I'm making bot accounts so you control.
Gotcha.
Appreciate it. Gavin, how you been?
Oh, not so bad. We're just nice long weekend. I think we all. Did you get up to anything too crazy for holiday weekend?
No, we had a barbecue that was pretty dope.
That was
just kind of hung out and didn't really play much either. You know what? I did watch Speed. I think right after we met, I watched Speed with Keanu Reeves, and that movie is dope and it holds up. Highly recommend it. It's awesome.
It's just astounding to me that having watched it for the first time, I know the scene with the bridge jump, and I know it's supposed to be super and cheesy and dumb, but all the build up, it's just fucking awesome.
Well, I thought that the bridge was an actual, I thought in my mind it was the bridges raising, and so that's how they have the elevation to cover.
Yeah.
No, it's just two level planes with a huge gap, and somehow they make it. And then he's like, if we jump the train at the end.
Oh yeah.
Somehow they survived that. Oh, I love it.
I loved that part. That was.
And then the bus driver just gets shot by that one dude. It's just like a shit show, but it's great.
I will and now you see because I told you how I had some of the concepts of this wrong. You can see how if I thought somebody on the bus was secretly a bomber, you'd be like, it's the guy from out of town. He's so suspicious.
Yep.
Or what was the other thing?
That lady. I wasn't mad that she died. Was not mad at all.
Oh,
she
sure.
was like, get out of the way. I got to jump. It's like, all right, see you later.
Yeah.
You understand. We can't stop this bus. We can't get off this bus.
What's her name's character was adorable. I don't think it's Sandra Bullock. Is it Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, Sandra Bullock.
Okay, I get her and that other gal confused.
She was awesome.
Yeah, she was great.
She was actually I felt that she was acting, really well. She's doing a great job. She may be, even for myself, it's I never think of her as a dope actor, but she is. I watched Gravity years ago and it was fine. For me, the big parts were when the space station just explodes into a million particles, how cool it looks. But there's that.
I think that's the thing with her is she does have some really solid roles, but she has a lot of really subpar ones. Although one of these days I need to see Miss Congeniality. I hear it's actually good.
I'm sure. You know? Or like Megan's go-to is Legally Blonde. I think she watches it once a month.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's cool. I always talk shit about it, but it's actually, I'll be walking around the hallway and like have a dumb comment and then end up sitting down and watching it, and then I just get sucked in. But no, it's cool. But yeah, I did watch that, and I watched What We Do in the Shadows came back for season 3.
Oh, I need to. Yeah.
So awesome. Did you ever finish the last?
No, I walked in on my girlfriend watching some of the new season. And she's like, I'm not waiting for you at this point. I'm like, that's fine. There's
some things where it's like, okay, she gave you a chance. Fine. Like when season 2 ended, we just started rewatching the seasons again.
Oh, sure.
Because we just love that show so much. So it's like, you had some time, Kevin.
It's true. I should. I did start watching on Hulu. They have a Steve Martin and Martin Short joint.
The murderer thing?
Yeah, Only Murders in the Building.
How was that?
So far it's okay. But I'm invested enough to watch it till the end. I'm not sure I'm really gonna like it, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to go wrong with those two.
With Steve Martin, I don't have that same connection to him that a lot of people do, where they love his comedy and he's like one of the best comics to them. I just don't have that. And then maybe a little bit more with Martin Short, actually. But with Steve Martin, like I've tried to listen to some of Steve Martin's comedy albums, and it's just like doesn't do it for me.
I think the thing is with him, it's more. I feel like it's more of his movies, because some of his movies, like I remember, my high school girlfriend dragged me to the Pink Panther in theaters.
Yep.
And it is. Have you seen it?
No.
It's so funny. Like the scene where he's trying to pronounce hamburger with an American accent had me in goddamn tears.
I do remember that. And that's not the turtle movie. What's the one with the guy? Dana Carvey.
That is Dana Carvey. Yeah.
Which I remember watching some like Watch Mojo thing on YouTube, just going down different movies. Yeah. But it was that one that dropped on 9/11 or very close to it. Oh no, I think it's a joke. It's they had to shoot that scene with the turtle. Like they just heard that 9/11 happened and they have to complete that scene where he's in the turtle suit. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do find that pretty funny.
It's weird that like I feel like, and that movie was super bad. I can't think of any good. I'm sure there are good movies with Dana Carvey in it.
Wayne's World.
Oh, I'm a dumbass. Yep.
But although I hear you where it's like beyond that, he's a funny dude, but he maybe picks his movies seldomly. But
have you heard his stand up?
No, I didn't know he did stand up.
He is funny. It's a lot of impressions.
Oh, but he's great.
Yeah, he's a parrot. So, but yeah, I watched some of that, and it's all right. I kind of like. It's kind of funny the concept of those two trying to start a podcast. I'm not sure they fully grasp the concept of a podcast. But also, you have Steve Martin. He's like doing some musical bits, and I'm sure he's actually playing like the accordion himself. Gotcha. He's a very talented musician, very talented banjoist. And then I watched. I blitz through Reservoir Dogs, which I didn't realize isn't all the way out. So I was like, when it stopped, it hit really hard. So it's out on Mondays, and even the newest episode had some pretty sad stuff, which is, I guess that's the way it's going to go. If you're doing like kind of semi-realistic stories set on an Indian reservation, it's going to have some sad bits. And
I kind of prefer that when different comedies, and they do that a lot more now, where they're funny, but they're not afraid to go into like serious stuff. Even with Dave, how silly that show gets, but there's still like serious episodes that will tackle a weird concept. Like I really dig that. So I know I got to watch Reservoir Dogs, but I keep thinking of the movie Reservoir Dogs, but I know it's not that.
Oh, Reservation Dogs.
Dogs.
Maybe I've been pronouncing it wrong the whole time. But yeah.
Gotcha.
It's super good.
Nice.
Yeah. About that, have you been playing anything?
No, really not playing a lot this week. I was super excited. I got an email from 343 saying I got into this Halo beta thing. I'm like, bet I'm going to go on there. I didn't read anything else, downloaded it. It's for the Master Chief Collection. It was this flight multiplayer thing that you got to test out, but I don't know what there is to test on a game that's already been out. So I played a couple matches. It's Halo Master Chief Collection, but I was assuming it's infinite. It's not infinite. So I did jump into that.
Really weird. I wonder if they're mixing.
They were testing something
into Master Chief.
I don't believe so. No, It was for Master Chief on its own. They're testing some kind of multiplayer part of it. I don't know, but yeah, I was kind of bummed. Kind of bummed. I told you I played about an hour of Psychonauts 2, which is cool. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know what else to do with my hands, but I do. I don't know if it like holds on to me at the end of the day. I got to play a bit more. Well, obviously it's only been an hour, but it didn't call out to me to begin with. I was more playing it because it's on Game Pass. And I give it a chance more because I liked It Takes Two. We had a blast playing it.
Right.
But yeah, I got to play more. It seems really cool. I like how the jokes that are constantly happening in that game are pretty dope, and the platforming's fine, and it's it's cool. But I wonder if at the end of the day, maybe it's not for me.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, but
I definitely give it a little more time. I think if with a little bit more time, the characters start to latch onto you, and once you start going through some people's stories that have like a little tragedy, and you're kind of helping them mentally work it out through these incredible visuals.
Yeah.
I think that's very powerful and very cool. Also, once the world opens up, it's just fun to explore. Right now, you're stuck in a very linear section. It's been interesting playing that. I've just been playing hours and hours and hours of that game when I'm not like cramming on work at home.
Yeah.
Which apparently I didn't need done in time. But it's really interesting. Compare that to It Takes Two, because in certain ways, It Takes Two, I would call these games very similar, but in certain ways, It Takes Two kind of takes it over. In certain ways, Psychonauts can just do it better. And I think when I think back at the story of It Takes Two, the story is actually really forgettable.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know, they went on a ski trip once. They murdered a fucking elephant.
Yeah.
But that's brutal. Not related to what was going on with them.
Yeah.
Really, their story isn't told very well. But the gameplay is amazing, and the variety is insane. The levels are crazy creative and fun to play.
Yeah.
Whereas this, the story is really front and center. They have this interconnected world with all these characters over 3 games now. That's really well told and really interesting. And they really flesh out all these characters. So even just any of these brains you go into are going to be kind of more fleshed out than all of the story of It Takes Two. But that being said, it doesn't have the same gameplay variety because you have the same moves over 30 hours. You're not constantly changing out mechanics.
Yeah.
Also, I think there's something to be said in It Takes Two for just like when we're in those sections where we both got to like work together to just like shoot shit. Like somebody lays down the stuff and the other person blows it up. I think that's an incredible gameplay experience that you can't replicate by yourself.
Yeah, that was maybe what was so special about It Takes Two, is like forcing you to work together and figuring it out, and then when you do, how good that feels, and then everything else stitched together. But yeah, I wonder if I might have said it before, but if that hurts it for Game of the Year because it's multiplayer and you need somebody else, like does that, and it also launched pretty early in the year itself, like that kind of stuff does get forgotten about. Yeah. But also this year there hasn't been much to release anyway, so it might still be, for me, it's like still Game of the Year, I think.
Well, I hope it doesn't hurt it. But yeah, I could see that being an issue. But yeah, definitely between those 2 games, well, it's a little some people take. That being said, It Takes Two, like when it has its jaw-dropping moments, Psychonauts has jaw-dropping moments, but It Takes Two just takes the cake. Yeah. It is.
Yeah, and it was I don't know, 50 hours we played that game. Like it felt forever. And it wasn't like a chore. It was fun, but it took a long time.
There was a point where towards the end I was kind of done, but
it takes 70 hours.
It takes 70 hours. 3 months.
Yes. Gavin, got some news.
All right.
Jump into, got the first one here. Alan Wake Remastered, that was announced today.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So I pulled up a little detailed blurb here from Benji Sales, as always, on Twitter. So we got Alan Wake Remastered announced, PC, Xbox One, Series X, the whole shebang. Visuals, characters, models, cinematics improved. Some choice next-gen upgrades launching this fall.
Choice.
Did you play Alan Wake much?
No, I hear they're great, though.
Yeah, I've been... I was more tempted with Control because they finally like linked those worlds together, and there was DLC. One of the last DLCs for Control brought Alan Wake into it, and I waited on that because I just never played them. And so I can't wait to play these, jump into Control, see how it all makes sense. And I like Remedy. They're really dope, and they master these third-person experiences. I didn't like the physics one that came out.
Quantum Break,
yeah. I didn't play much of it enough to like develop an opinion on it, but Control like clicked for me from the get-go.
It's interesting how Quantum Break is kind of heralded as like their worst game, but it sounds like it's not that bad of a game.
Yeah.
just not as good as these other 3.
Right.
And apparently Alan Wake 2 is really, really good as well. So,
and they have a DLC for Alan Wake, that American Nightmare. Everyone always talks about that DLC, much like Red Dead 2 zombie thing. Everyone always goes, that's one of the best DLCs.
sure.
With Alan Wake, it's always Undead Nightmare or American Nightmare, something like that. That's one of the best DLCs apparently. So, but yeah, that's coming. I'm gonna try it.
Awesome.
Do you think you'll pick it up?
I think it will.
Nice.
I hear it's, but that being said, I am a scaredy cat. So
yeah, I think you'd be fine with this kind of thing. I don't know if it's like gonna scare the shit out of you. Say like one of those like VR kind of experiences. But I'm sure it's spooky.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going down. That was announced or confirmed today. It was leaked for a little bit and then finally confirmed. We got PlayStation. It has a stream this Thursday. So we got a little blurb here from going to the PlayStation blog.
Do we see God of War, considering that was supposed to come out last year, was it?
Seems like it, and they delayed it to this year. Now, I never liked that date that they applied to it, but yeah.
That was rough.
So it's coming out. So you're invited PlayStation Showcase 2021 next Thursday. So we got some details here for this from IGN. The event promises to offer a sneak peek at the future of PS5 with updates from PlayStation Studios and industry-leading devs. It's going to be around 40 minutes. So no PSVR 2, although that's still slated to release late next year. But there is rumors online that we're going to see some kind of infamous reboot or remaster of some sort. But nothing. That's a rumor. But nothing else has leaked, surprisingly, yet. So we'll see what they actually announce. But you're thinking God of War. We should see that.
I hope we see something. I still hope they push that one even further back. Give them all the time in the world. We have plenty of games to play. Right. Just take all the time you need.
Yeah, I would say if you're going to show something of God of War, make sure it's ready to go. Maybe even like a cinematic or something like that. Maybe not even like full-blown gameplay. Although if they do show gameplay, that means then it's definitely, on track for 2022. But they might even throw some like Horizon stuff, even though we saw that pretty beefy gameplay. They might show some Horizon. Beyond that, I don't know. Maybe Gran Turismo. We've seen bits of that. Maybe they showed that a bit more. Yeah, I'm excited though. I can't wait to see what they actually show off, because this year's been kind of granted it's the pandemic and stuff, but we haven't got a lot of PlayStation exclusives this year.
Right.
So besides Deathloop, and that's not even their own, it's just a deal they made. So
right. Yeah.
We'll see.
I have high hopes. But you said rumored whatchamacallit?
Infamous. Either a reboot, remaster of some degree. So that is oh boy, why am I blanking on it? So Infamous is from Sucker Punch, yes.
Yeah.
Which just finished a lot of the Tsushima stuff. So maybe they've been, split off into teams. They've been able to work on something like that. So
if they do announce something, I'd predict it pretty early on. Like not coming out for a while, but
true.
I almost rather them do their own thing. I feel like they're really good at these original ideas. Tsushima is incredible. So it'd be nice to.
It seems like Tsushima was pretty financially successful, so I think they go full force into that. But if they can split off to handle at least a remaster or something, or maybe they give that to another company to handle if it's just an actual remaster, but they would handle a reboot, I imagine. There's also with Naughty Dog, it seems like it's time for them to show off the multiplayer side of Last of Us 2, and that was kind of diverted into its own thing. So maybe we see something like that. I kind of doubt it, but maybe we see what that's going to look like. Then you mentioned God of War. Beyond that, it's tough to tell.
I forgot about the Last of Us. How long ago did Last of Us 2 even come out?
So that came out last June, July, around there.
I think it's time.
Yeah, they've had a year to work on it.
Multiplayer?
Everything's extended now, but it seems like this multiplayer thing is going to be its own game. Maybe it's beefier. There's a lot more going on. So I don't know if that means just a longer dev time, but yeah.
I don't know why this reminded me. Do we have included the story about how CD Projekt Red hired a bunch of modders to fix their game?
I didn't, but I've seen that. Yeah. So are they fixing the game, or are they just working on mods and stuff?
I think CD Projekt Red's going to start transitioning to working on other stuff, or maybe DLC. But certainly,
and they canceled their multiplayer, right?
Huh?
They canceled their multiplayer, right? I'm pretty sure they
I don't know. I hope so. I don't want to play it.
Or they put it on the way back burner kind of thing.
Do you want to play Cyberpunk multiplayer?
No.
Maybe co-op multiplayer, but not.
So this is from Game Rant, Cyberpunk 2077. mods still fixing the game after patch 1.3. I did see on, was it Steam? There was like a 60 gigabyte patch for Cyberpunk that just started downloading. It's like, I don't know what this is. So I just paused it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is this fixing the game or just adding a bunch of stuff?
Full game rebalance. What does that even mean? I'm going to need some patch notes for that.
I'm sure they're online, but
I'd like them to rebalance the skill tree for sure. It didn't feel fun to pump points into anything.
I know towards the very end, I felt super overpowered. So some kind of bouncing, I think you're right.
But I also felt overpowered with stuff I didn't even put points into.
Interesting.
So
it's a bummer, man. I think once we get enough time away from it, some kind of deep dive into Cyberpunk as just the way it was released and the drama behind it. I mean, man. And it was such a hyped game up to its release. And then that shit show happened. But yeah, although we were both lucky enough to play it on PC where it had minimal or had less issues than it did on console. I don't know if on console it's finally back, to playable state, but yeah, they have been adding updates. So at least on them, they've been working on it.
It's true.
But yeah.
Oh, did we include the No Man's Sky update?
I do have that on here.
Okay,
yep. Cool. Some news on No Man's Sky. So this next one is Fist, which has launched already. Came out today. Got a 8 on Destructoid. Has a Metascore of 81. I have a trailer here pulled up.
That's pretty good. On Metacritic, that's
it's this 2D kind of action game. It reminds me a lot of that game that I never finished. I think you were playing more of it, but it was that furry kind of game.
I know what you're talking about.
Third person, open world somewhat.
Biomutant. That's what I thought of too. At first I was like, oh, it's Biomutant, and then I saw it was a side scroller, and my first thought, and this is terrible, but my thought then is, oh, it's like Biomutant, but now I don't care.
Yeah, I wonder if this would have more pizzazz if it existed in a world without Biomutant.
Probably.
Visually, it looks cool. I know you're saying like it doesn't call out to you, but I think it looks pretty dope.
Yeah, but it's a Metroidvania, right?
It appears that way, but I'm not sure.
I think that's what I heard. So, and I don't know how many. I mean, we have more Metroidvania certainly than we used to.
Yeah.
Be curious to see this now because you said you think Metroid's coming out here soon.
It's fall time. I'm pretty sure it's slated for fall. So, I want to say October. That month stands out for me.
So can Metroid compete with this?
I don't know. I don't know.
I watched a little bit of a stream of someone play it. The sound effects are really nice.
Okay, that's usually not the greatest compliment where it's like, you know what, the sound effects are dope.
I don't know. It's like it adds satisfying crunch to drilling through a wall.
That's true. I just mean if that's the only takeaway.
Oh.
Or you're like, what do you think of my game? Well, the sound effects were cool.
I mean, there's definitely been plenty of games where I'm like, man, these animations are great.
Gotcha. So that came out today. We got some news on Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah.
It's from Destructoid here talking with the dev. Apparently there's a really long Twitch stream where they talk to the dev here and mentions some quotable stuff here about the future, which I pulled here. So Stardew Valley creator on the next game. I'm not saying there's going to be another Stardew Valley update. I don't even know at this point. I'm focused on my next game. So look at that 1-2 punch. Interestingly, Barone says that the next project is another pixel art game with a top-down perspective, but will not be a farming game.
Sweet.
So we got that going.
Wasn't like Stardew Valley like just a game kind of almost like he just put out the exact game that he wanted and it just happened to be a bunch of other people wanted it too? Like
I wouldn't doubt it.
So
it's
I'm sure
that's right. He's the only dev.
Yeah. So I'm sure this next game, like I hope he does that again. Just make the game you want, and I'm sure people latch onto it if you want. That's not always true. That definitely doesn't have to be true.
Like, I want a dope Microsoft Word. I think they've been slacking for the past.
Well, let me do Flight Simulator. Now is the time to make a flight simulator game.
Yeah. So I did pull up. So Stardew Valley to date has sold 15 million copies. He's definitely one of those indie like success stories where just one guy puts it out, 15 million copies later after so many years. Like it's nuts.
He loves the fans, and the fans love him back. It's
Although when it is just you, I think you have, at least in this time, you have more of an opportunity to fuck everything up by like saying, you know what, that Texas bill isn't too bad. Like you're saying something so crazy that everyone goes, nope.
You want to pull a Notch?
Yeah. Notch, he's another one. Or Five Nights at Freddy guys, people were attacking him. They were angry with him. So it's like when it's just one head that's synonymous with the game, you run the risk of, people not liking you.
I just disappear. That's
there you go. Yeah, just count your money somewhere on a private island.
Hey guys, new update. Bye.
I'm bouncing. This is just a little quick thing from Kojima. So he's teasing the next Matrix movie.
Kojima is.
Yeah. So he posted, what is a Matrix? A link to the site. And you got a red pill, blue pill. This is from the actual
and
website.
You're refusing to click on these, correct?
I'm waiting because I'm just a super duper nerd. And this is one movie where it's like this one and the Iron Giant. I know they can't leave it alone. And the Matrix, they're actually on, the movie's done. It's filmed. I don't know what you do with the sequel, but it's happening. So I haven't watched any stuff, but if we were to click on one of these pills, what would you click on? I don't know which. I
think he says if you take the red pill, you wake up in your thing, and then if you take the blue pill. So I think it's the blue pill we want to take.
That's the one that takes you into the Matrix or takes you out of the Matrix?
Well, allows him to leave the Matrix. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let's try it. Error.
Is this the original sequence remastered?
I'm sure it's 4K'd up. Ooh.
This looks like from the original. Like
that's a little different.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, we're just getting snippets. Oh yeah. So the trailer does launch this Thursday. That's not the date, but it is this Thursday.
That was my first thought, though. Wait, it's already past there.
Oh, that dude from Watchmen is in it.
Is that who that was?
Yeah. Oh, dang. He still looks like Keanu. They didn't bother to change his appearance. He's still like John Wick.
Looks like John Wick, yeah. He has finally reached the point. There was that theory for a long time that he was a 20th century vampire, but I do feel like he's finally starting to show a little bit of his age.
So I click the blue pill again, and we got a different, or I don't know if it's the same trailer.
You broke the system. You hacked the Matrix.
Yep.
Oh, things are going up now? Oh, geez.
Was he shooting out of his hands? Oh, God damn it. Kevin, I can't wait for this movie. What's 7-2? They just burst open your door that day and just make you watch it? Oh, that's July. Oh, dang. It's fentanyl.
Oh, that's weird.
Ooh. Is he the new Morpheus? He was like training with him.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I don't know, man. Story-wise, I don't know, because at the end, spoilers, he dies, Trinity dies, and she's confirmed for the movie. Morpheus is still alive, but he dies in the Matrix Online, which is still canon.
Oh.
So I don't know what the hell's going on.
Now, is the eyeballs in the sky from Matrix Online also still canon?
I don't know about that. I never played. I just watched like an overview.
Apparently, when they shut down the servers, they were just like, we're going to have some fun. Put eyeballs in the sky. Hell's breaking loose.
I love that. Yeah, because they let people actively play as stuff was just getting scrambled and whatever. Yeah. Nice.
Huh. Well, I wonder if it'll be because all these characters were reborn, but in multiple versions of the Matrix. That's all weird.
I know with Keanu, they drag his body away once he fights with Smith the last time. They drag his body away, and that's all they show. So like he's technically dead, but the machines kept his body for some reason. So I don't know if they played a different program or put himself back in his body. I don't know.
I thought it ended with him talking with like the Oracle again.
No, so he has one last battle. He makes an agreement with the robots to end their war if he solves their Smith problem, because Smith is copying every person. Like he's basically a virus that's infecting the Matrix. So he says, I'll kill him if you stop this war. And so they end it with peace, but something's going down. I know they keep the Matrix going, but they let people leave if they want. That was the agreement at the end of the last Matrix 30 years ago, whatever, when it came out.
I feel like that would legit work fine for the robots, because if I found out this was the Matrix and I could go live in shit town in the middle of the earth, no, absolutely not. No. I'm going to stay in the Matrix.
No one's leaving. Yeah, it's like it sucks here, but also it's like I have power and internet. I don't want to leave.
Yeah, can I get a PS5 like as my trade off? No, I'm not like the guy with the steak.
Yeah, I think 90% of us would stay, but
I still love that Binging with Babish episode where he tries to do the steak and he's like, dude, I don't know what this monster is. It was a huge fucking steak.
Oh, from the from the movie. Interesting. But yeah, that's happening. Thursday is the trailer, and it's still set up to launch this fall. So it's happening this year. You know what? I would say like everything's getting delayed or whatever. Although, I don't know if you've seen the news about the 10 Rings movie. It's a Shang-Chi? The Marvel one?
Yeah.
That's been doing really well, like really, really well for a Marvel movie in the pandemic. So that gives further strength to like, maybe we can launch these movies in the pandemic, because Spider-Man is still slated for only theaters, and that's the next big one. So maybe these movies that are huge tentpoles will still, this one is on... It's Warner Bros., so it's still going to launch on HBO Max. So it is one of those in between. Same with Dune. But maybe it can still do well in the box office. But I think this is one I will wear my gas mask. I'll go to the theaters and I'll watch Matrix in theaters.
Sure.
But yeah, cannot wait, Kevin.
Hoping for it. Cannot
wait. Lost my mouse. Got the next one here. Mass Effect 5. BioWare reportedly considering moving back to Unreal Engine.
Dude.
I know you're a big hater on. What's the current engine they use? It gives them a lot of problems, right?
I didn't think they were on maybe they are on the Frostbite engine.
Well, this footage is from the remaster. I don't know if they switched for the remaster.
I thought it was the other BioWare game that was on the Frostbite, which made such problems.
Oh, the last
Anthem.
Yeah, I think you're right. So here's the actual article from Jared Moore of IGN. Developer BioWare is reportedly considering a switch back to Unreal Engine for its next installment of the Mass Effect series, leaving EA's Frostbite engine behind. As reported by GamesBeat, series publisher EA recently published a listing on its website for a technical director to work on the Mass Effect franchise, and among a wealth of other requirements, the listing cites that experience with Unreal Engine 4 and beyond would be seen as an asset for potential candidates. So it's a job listing. That's all we have to go on, but it seems like why keep trying to force these games into this engine? But I guess if it's down to money, right? If it's their own engine, costs less, they don't have to pay for whatever royalties and whatnot. It also justifies them spending whatever billions and trillions of dollars they did to develop said engine. But you can't continue using it if it's like has all these issues. Look at Respawn with what's it called? They went to Unreal, I want to say, or another engine besides Frostbite, and they had huge success with that. So maybe it's time to switch gears.
I mean, yeah, you can pull it off. Square Enix has their whatever the hell engine, and they've made tons and tons of games. I think a few games are on Unreal with Square Enix, but for the most part, it's that. So yeah, if you can pull off making your own in-house engine,
right,
then by all means. But
if it's holding you back, you're gonna have to bite the bullet.
Yeah.
But I think it's a financial thing. You have people higher up making a decision to keep using it, even if it doesn't work.
Yeah, and Unreal is just battle tested. Even this new one coming out, I'm sure a lot of the bugs are going to be handled. This is Gen 5, but also every version they've usually have running for a long time. So I'm down for it.
Yeah, so but that's a rumor.
That's also happening. Not going to play this game.
Yeah, the Mass Effect games, I know people love them dearly, but they just didn't call out to me. I think if I was on an island or something, this is all I had, I would absolutely play it.
I think if I skipped one, because I hate the game plan one was so frustrating, I couldn't go any further. But I like the story.
Apparently, the remaster fixes a lot of stuff, though.
I should probably give it a try. Also, the sound effects for the guns are terrible. But
they do, at least in that bit, sounded kind of flat. Yeah, I know what you're saying. This next one here about PUBG. Brendan, PlayerUnknown Green, wants to create the biggest sandbox open world game ever. And I have they're talking about Prologue here, so I have the little snippet from Prologue, which is this. They teased this back in 2019 at the Game Awards. This is all we've seen so far of this game.
Sandbox. What does he mean by that? Because that could mean so many things.
Well, it's quite a meaty one here, and you can go to IGN for the full interview. But this is Wesley LeBlanc. Last week, PUBG creator Brendan Green left developer and publisher Krafton to form his own independent studio called PlayerUnknown Productions.
That was when?
So that was last week. So now this game, Prologue, is tied to his new studio here, PlayerUnknown Productions.
I thought he left whatever his last thing was to make his own studio. So now he's done it again?
This might be the same thing. So it's just him leaving the big boy to make his own studio now. So it might be the same thing you're talking about. But the PlayerUnknown Twitter account posted a 5-minute video today featuring Green talking directly to the camera about his studio's aspirations as reported by Eurogamer. So Prologue, which is a little trailer we're watching, Prologue is meant to serve as a simple introduction to an early iteration of our technology and a chance to look at what we accomplished by leveraging machine learning. Green says in the video, in Prologue, you'll need to find your way across runtime generated wilderness and use found tools and gather resources. We've also decided to release Prologue as a tech demo rather than a complete game as a way for you to experience an early iteration of our terrain generation tool. With Prologue now being released as a tech demo and not a complete game, Green says players will be able to pay what they want for the demo. There's no intention or no mention of when Prologue will actually be released. So this is now an actual tech demo that you can play at some point. Haven't given a release date.
I completely forgot about this.
But in the interview, he talks about trying to create the largest open world kind of experience that anyone's tried before. I don't know if he's taking into account No Man's Sky, but at least on a planet.
Yeah, I assume that's what he means is on a planet.
But this is all we have in the past 2 years. This very short little trailer.
To be fair, also in that realm, Minecraft. But I wonder, I get the feeling what he's trying to do is Minecraft style procedural generation, but of this scale.
Yeah,
or of this fidelity.
Yeah.
So that would be cool, but the concern would be, can you make it interesting? Ooh, I love how these trees are bending.
Yeah, you think this is an engine?
Could be.
Because it looks CG-ish, but also looks like you could have this as an engine thing going on.
I feel like when this trailer initially released, this was not doable. This is now doable.
Right. Yeah, after 2 years, and you have UE5 coming, and I don't know if that's going to be on there, but it's like you could do this with current stuff.
Like Biomutant doesn't look on max settings. Biomutant looks pretty well like this.
Yeah, they mentioned the weather effects are going to be a big thing that you're going to be having to take into account with you traversing and trying to get to the center of this map using survival tools. So you have like rain, thunder.
You're trying to get to the center of the map?
Apparently, in this tech demo, which is prologue, your goal is to, I don't know if it's multiplayer. I don't think they confirmed that, but you're trying to get to.
Well, didn't it say in there?
He does mention multiplayer on the prologue part, but they're using this to show off them generating all the stuff that's going on.
Oh,
yeah. It looks like it might be single player.
That could be really interesting.
Yeah.
I think the challenge is, can you make interesting terrain? And I wish him all the luck in the world. It's weird that he's jumped ship from companies this many times. And I hope he has the fight, because it seems like with PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, he had a significant amount of financial backing, not in small part due to Tencent. So can he do something similar this time and get a similar level of backing?
I'm sure he could, just with that namesake and the stuff he's been tied to. I'm sure people are just throwing money at him and saying, make it work.
I guess the worry, though, is like, so he's known as, he's the Battle Royale guy.
Yeah.
That's what he's made.
I would say still in the Battle Royale realm, but just way more realistic, detailed. I guess like there's that, it's not a Russian game, but Escape from Tarkov, I want to say it's called.
Oh, yeah.
That one does rely heavily on the realism of all the weapons and whatnot. Maybe it'd be too crazy, but if you could account like your gun getting dirty, that kind of thing, like the elements actually, changing how or even how your character moves, if it's slippery when it's raining, that kind of thing. But it seems like he wants to go in a more hardcore direction with the stuff. But
I'm curious.
All we got is this little snippet, but apparently they're going to release this snippet as a full-blown tech demo that you can play, and then pay what you want to play it.
It's a 5-minute video. Oh, of him talking. Gotcha. Yeah. I'll have to watch that. That sounds interesting.
Yep. Huh. Yep. All right, again, we got the next one here. Hamburger is the last word in the chat there. No Man's Sky gets Steam review redemption 5 years later. So this one, they released an update as well, but this is, I want to say last week. So this is the trailer that we're watching as the B-roll, but I found this pretty cool. So this is actually from IGN, the actual article here, but on Steam, it's finally in the positive review score, but it took 5 years to get there, and a lot of games never equal out where like the game's actually reviewing better than when it launches.
I did not know that.
Sean Murray went to Twitter and tried to put that in the context, like how hard it is to do that.
Sure.
But this is the last trailer released for Frontiers, which is a new update.
I'm curious. A lot of some of the reviews I heard on this one is the Frontiers are actually a little bit more of a pain in the ass than you think they might be, especially if you set up on just the wrong planet. I didn't realize they didn't have. I guess I didn't know too much about the cities. I kind of didn't think there were cities. It sounds like maybe those are new, or colonies. Gotcha. But the procedural interior thing is neat. I'd be curious to see how in depth that goes. It's cool. Like where every time they put one of these out, where do they go from here?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe more of stuff on the NPC front, like advanced dialogue or something that mimics more of like a Fallout kind of experience. Right. They could beef that up. But I honestly haven't played in a while, so I'm not sure. I can tell a lot has changed, but I'm not sure what needs to be improved or what they could add.
I had a coworker telling me though, this is one, and I feel like on my 2060 I could max this thing, although it ran a little choppy. He was saying this is a good one for the 30 series to really knock stuff up to 11.
Yeah, I know they've added graphical stuff to it and can bump up the frame rate, all that jazz. Yeah, no, it's dope. It's a great story, great success story. I have this cool mod that someone created. So Sean's Sean mod makes everything in No Man's Sky Sean.
Oh, okay.
So here's an actual clip from it.
Oh my god.
So every leaf, tree, bird is Sean.
I'm not sure how you mod a game like this.
I don't know how mods work.
Not either.
So I'm not sure where the Sean comes
I'd love
into
for him
play.
to zoom into that gorgeous glowing flower. Yeah, that would be Sean.
Sean.
Sean Terrain.
Oh
my god.
Yeah. And all the organic material. Oh god.
Oh, kill it in a fire. This is terrible.
The clouds.
Oh, it's on the leaves or on the grass. You can see it.
It was great. They gotta release this as an option. Oh man. Pretty fantastic.
I feel like if you're Sean Michael Murray, you see this and you just, oh god, retire.
You got to enter through the mouth too, like hopefully. Yep.
With
What the hell?
Tooth portal?
Jesus.
Oh.
Silent Hill or something?
Oh my god.
Yeah, but people doing it, modding it. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, like one of the best success stories ever in gaming, I think, is the way that they brought it back to life. Oh, yeah, I have here the actual tweet from Sean Murray mentioning just how hard it is to do that. So mixed reviews, yeah. So moving to mixed reviews took nearly 2 years. Moving to mostly positive has taken the last 3. Each time percent point is exponentially harder. So from 69% to 70% took nearly 10,000 positive reviews. So just how hard it is to actually improve it once a game is launched is tough.
Wow.
But yeah, when's the last time you jumped into this?
When they did the Prism update where when they pumped up the pixels, they increased the graphics.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
Which
I know there's been next gen updates for it as well. I think I own it on PlayStation and PC too. But yeah, it's worth jumping into. It's really always worth jumping into with every update.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool mining and just exploring and finding new planets. That was fun enough. But yeah, I guess, does it hold you? It needs its own like cool multiplayer, cycle, say like a Sea of Thieves, where it just keeps you playing it and jumping in and the fun wackiness of it. It needs something like that.
It'd be nice. I would, so if they just had a mode where it's like, hey, you get attacked a lot while you're doing all this, then I'd be on board.
You know what I found annoying is those little space police. Every time you're like drilling or you kill an animal in action or something, they're always there to like bother you. I hated them. I think they've modified them since.
I feel like you just run away and you can generally jump in your ship and they can't do anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's when I jump in my ship and realize I have no fuel or anything, and then I have to get out of the ship to go mine stuff.
Goddamn time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bugs animals.
Cool. The whole riding the...
Right, you can ride everything. There's mechs and stuff now. It's pretty dope. I think it now it's getting enough credit for what they've done to change it.
I feel like I've said this before, but I think I'm so impressed by clearly their engine is adaptable enough that they can add this stuff really quickly.
Right.
So, and this new one is no small feature.
Yes, sir.
So,
but yeah, Gavin, that's the last story for the day. You got anything else I can Google?
I don't. Let's see if I have a thing. Sometimes I put them in my checklist to bring up on the podcast.
We have a Deathloop next week, right?
Did I ever bring up Void Train?
Void Train.
This story is probably 3 weeks old, but VOID, then Train. I don't. Yeah. So this was something I'm not into survival games whatsoever. This seems really cool and weird. The art style alone is amazing.
So official trailer from June 10th, 2020.
Nice and moody.
Has this released yet?
Yeah, I think it released in alpha or early access, I think 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
And maybe sort of like a what's that ocean one? Aquaria or whatever it's called style game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can kind of swim out into the void. There's all these train stations that you kind of portal through.
Oh, and you build your own train?
I guess.
Oh.
The combat's a little weird. I noticed like some of these enemies, if your gun isn't strong enough, like one streamer I was watching was shooting an enemy in their head and it was dealing 0 damage because they had helmet on.
I see.
And I don't think they did a good enough job of indicating that they were dealing no damage.
Kind of reminds me of that space game you were playing where you were on a space station finding various components and like trying to rebuild something.
Yeah, I get a little bit of those vibes. It looks cool.
Yeah, so the shooting stuff surprised me. I thought it would be without combat.
Right.
It is super weird.
Right.
It's like a Kojima dream or something.
Those clouds look cool. Yeah, it's a little interesting.
So it's an alpha now?
Yeah, early access.
Void Train.
Alpha or whatever the words are.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on it. Oh, fall 2022? Oh, 2020. I see. Gotcha. But it's already an alpha. Oh, okay, cool. All right, Gavin. We can end it there for the week. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkTez.
Pew, 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 pew. And you can find us on Twitter as well at PlascarPod. That's it for us this week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.